what then yo? Oh, what that dang dang? This is the voice of the patriot. And here we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, we only do that on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. My brother, my sister, this is in the service of God and country. This is the headquarters of the truth. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Now, we have a number of beautiful issues to look at, and I need you to come along. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Now, the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Ghana Web, and it reads, Afenyomakin under fire over proposal for MP's hospital, new parliamentary chamber. And I read, now the minority leader in parliament, Alexander Kwamina Afenyomakin, has faced significant scrutiny and criticism on social media, particularly on X, following his proposal for a hospital specifically for members of parliament and a new parliamentary chamber. Now, speaking at the inauguration of the Parliamentary Service Board for the 9th Parliament on Monday, March 17, 2025, the F2 MP emphasized the distinct challenges parliamentarians face in assessing private health care. He stated that creating a hospital solely dedicated to MPs will be a crucial measure in protecting the health and privacy of lawmakers. Mr. Speaker, there are two things that I hope for in this 9th Parliament. One is a hospital for Parliament. If it does happen, according to your vision, it will be a great milestone. We are a political class, and our health issues must be known within certain confines. Because of confidentiality issues, people travel abroad at great cost for medical support. I believe if we are able to deal with this, it will help. My brother, my sister, a few months ago, this was the majority leader in parliament. He wielded all the power, albeit in a hung parliament. My brother, my sister, his caucus woke up unprecedentedly. My brother, my sister, they woke up unprecedentedly from their homes at dawn and came to the Parliament House in order to take a position that is marked as majority in Parliament, all because it was a hung parliament. My brother, my sister, when you live in a country where labels are more important than the content, these are the crop of people you produce as leaders. I am so ashamed of Afenyomakin. I am so ashamed of these utterances. If you permit me, let me go into the fiber of this issue. This is a man who is talking about health issues that are confidential to them as lawmakers, in other words, public servants. My brother, my sister, the countries that we run to begging for crumbs from off their tables do not have specific hospitals meant for MPs. MPs all sit in the same public transport as the people they serve. Yet in my country, the servant wants to be the master of the master. My brother, my sister, Afenyomakin is asking for a distinct hospital meant for parliamentarians alone. And his reason is that They have sicknesses that must be held confidential to them, and for that matter, they are not comfortable attending the same hospitals as the people they claim to be serving. Oh, what a joke. My brother, my sister, this guy is not even a president yet. He's already thinking about hospitals for MPs. Remember the other guy who was also talking about MPs who should be given sirens so that they would arrive at the Parliament House early enough. In a country where time is not respected, that is when sirens are blaring all over the place because it's an animal farm. George Orwell's Animal Farm. My brother, my sister, this thing that Afenyomakin has said, my brother, my sister, is drawing the whole country into disrepute. It's a shame that you still run around begging for money from the so-called developed countries, and all you are thinking about is a private hospital for MPs. See how many people do not even have access to simple basic health care. They want a hospital for themselves as MPs, yet they claim they are serving their constituents. How many hospitals are in the constituents of this guy here? How many? Yet he's asking for a hospital for himself and his colleagues in parliament. My brother, my sister, the Ghanaian parliament in recent times has been turned into a circus. Better still, into a boxing ring. We have seen how people have punched each other, and in a very, very rare occurrence, we were told that some people's balls were even squeezed in the Ghanaian parliament. We have gone into the Fanta book of records. We have gone beyond Guinness. My brother, my sister, and this is the case. Brother is looking for a hospital for MPs because they want to hide their health issues. My brother, my sister, why should public officials hide their sicknesses from the public? Do the constituents not deserve to know what sicknesses their leaders have, so that that will guide them into whether to select you to lead them again or not? If they know you are asthmatic, they will not ask you to run a 100-meter race for them. Does it not make simple sense? If you hide your asthma from your constituents, they will keep pushing you to run the 100-meter race. At the end of the day, you will visit an early grave. Under no circumstances should public officials hide their sicknesses and health conditions from the constituents. That is why you are supposed to declare your wealth. Declare whatever you have before you jump into that fray. If you want to hide your sickness, my brother, my sister, don't be a public servant. He says that they belong to the political class. He's not bothered about how many of his constituents will have to trek all the way to the hospital and lie on the bare floor. My brother, my sister, because there are no beds in the hospital. Doctors are all running to the UK. Nurses are running away to the UK. And the few nurses that remain, they are most of them, my brother, my sister, are so uncourteous to the patients that they serve or they claim to serve. Martin, bow down your head in shame. It's so nauseating, my brother, my sister, for a parliament house, for a minority caucus leader to be asking for a hospital for MPs when his government just left power, promised 111 hospitals, could not even deliver half, not even quarter. According to what we hear, only one complete hospital was done. You have the guts and the effrontery to come out and say you want a private hospital for yourself. Okay, go for the one completed hospital that the Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government completed and use that for the MP's hospital. MPs in this country are so arrogant by some of these remarks. Be careful. You are supposed to be the servants of the people. You are not supposed to lord it over them. Be careful. You are gradually becoming teen gods. Next story I want to look at, and I implore you to come close. This one is taken from Ghana, wherever. And it says, Miracles Abuaje blast Mahama for turning Independence Day celebration into an NDC Thanksgiving service. And I read, now the Director of Communications for the 2024 presidential campaign of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, has accused President John Dramani Mahama of limiting invitations to Ghana's 68th Independence Day celebration to only members of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. Now, according to Miracles Abuaje, many Ghanaians were left standing outside the Jubilee House fence without invitations, while NDC members exclusively participated in what he described as their own Thanksgiving service. Speaking in an interview on Wuntumi TV on March 17, 2025, he stated, he made Ghanaians stand on the roadside to watch the March 6th celebration of the Jubilee House. That day, I was very sad when I passed by. This was something the TV stations did not show. So many people did not realize what happened. He further alleged that the event was made strictly by invitation, but only NDC members received invitations. The March 6th celebration was an NDC event. They didn't open it up to the people of Ghana. They turned it into a Thanksgiving service for the NDC, while ordinary Ghanaians stood behind the fence watching. If the aim was to cut costs, why make Ghanaians stand outside the fence while you and your party celebrate inside the Jubilee House? Could somebody wake Miracles Abuaje from this dream and whisper into his ears with the loudest energy you can that the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House is not a poultry farm? It is the seat of government, for crying out loud. What kind of dirty propaganda is this? The Flagstaff House is not a poultry farm. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can walk into it just like that. My brother, my sister, is because they wanted to limit access to the place, thereby cutting down costs. That was why they decided that they will host it at a small place like that, with all security and pomp and pageantry observed. What kind of dirty propaganda is this? Was Nana Akufo-Addo not invited? Did he not show up? Is he a member of the NDC? Sometimes when geniuses decide that they are on the path of patriotism, on the path of saving the taxpayer, the hemorrhage, the wanton, dastardly hemorrhage that the previous government meted out to Ghanaians. Some of these people, like Miracles Abuaje, are there to destroy the cake that has been paraded to serve the whole nation. I am sad at this remark. So, the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House should be open to everybody to come in. After your party failed the whole of Ghana, you still call yourself Ghanaians? Does Miracles Abuaje still call himself a Ghanaian? Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, are they still Ghanaians? After what they have done to Ghana, they still have the effrontery to call themselves Ghanaians. The wanton borrowing, throwing innocent pensioners into the deepest abyss of poverty and destitution. They still have the guts to call themselves Ghanaians after they wasted Ghana's monies on frivolities. They still have the effrontery to call themselves Ghanaians. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. If I were Nana Akufo-Addo, I would even be ashamed to attend any independence ceremony. What independence are you celebrating? The independence of lying to Ghanaians that you will build 111 hospitals, and unashamedly, you couldn't even provide 10 out of the 111 that you promised. With all the propaganda, miracles, Abuaji went round, my brother, my sister, spreading like pekle during the Homo War. They still lost the elections so vehemently, magnanimously. I am ashamed that these people still call themselves Ghanaians. People who are not patriotic to the cause of this nation. They borrowed in order to benefit Data Bank. Today, Oforiata is wallowing in the capcorn of absolute despondency. My brother, my sister, they still have the effrontery, the guards to call themselves Ghanaians. What a shame. Mr. President, John Dramani Mahama, please, may I share an African proverb with you in closing? Mr. President, with all love and respect, our ancestors have a saying, and I want to give it to you. On your way to your destination, do not respond to any barking dog, or else you will never arrive. Can I take it again? On the way to your destination, never ever respond to any barking dog, or else you will never arrive. I leave it here. Now the last story I want to look at, and I'm going to make it as brief as I can. This one too is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, Dampare overdid the lobbying. Mahama felt harassed. And this is an appointee of the president talking. They say when a crocodile comes out of the river to tell you that when the tilapia is sleeping, it snores. Brr, brr, brr. You have to believe it because you are not resident in the river. From the loins of the president, I believe Martin Pebu is talking. I read. The other day he spoke Dagbani and shocked me. I never knew he spoke such good Dagbani. Good afternoon to you, Martin Pebu. I read. Renowned legal practitioner Martin Pebu has claimed that former Inspector General of Police Dr. George Dampare excessively lobbied to be retained in office. According to Pebu, a source close to the presidency revealed that Dr. Dampare made persistent efforts to secure his position under President John Dramani Mahama. He stated that the president felt harassed due to the overwhelming number of calls he received, urging him to retain former IGP. Let me say this so that people can learn. My sources say Dampare overdid the lobbying. He went too far. I heard that everywhere the president went, many people were telling him, keep Dampare, keep Dampare. He went into overdrive. I understand the president felt harassed. He was overwhelmed. Pebu said, it's unfortunate that my father is not alive anymore. I would have asked him, did you by chance have another son somewhere called Pebu? Because it looks like me and this guy share the same thoughts. He might be a learned fellow, and I am not, but I am a conscious fellow. Hallelujah. How many people appointed by the president can come out and speak this authoritatively? That Dampare over-lobbied. By our laws, lobbying is not a crime. He overlobbied. The president felt harassed. This is the president I've been waiting for. A president who will turn a deaf ear to all the harassing lobbyings. Mahama several years ago would have cowered down to these lobbyings because he has a very good heart. And for that matter, he would have said, well, if so many such wonderful and great people want Dampare to stay, why not? But now he is his own man. He campaigned right from the ashes of the NDC all the way into the plumes of the success of the party. Hallelujah. Hi, now to Dr. Akufu Dampare. Have you forgotten that silence has the loudest voice? That actions speak louder than words? Why did you not allow your work to speak for you, but you went around lobbying? It meant that you did not do anything good, at least not good enough to retain you in office. Today, all the lobbying has fallen into the water. Today, all the lobbying has come to naught. Listen, in our country, it's a country of lobbying. If you don't lobby, people see you to be arrogant. Oh yes, he thinks he's done the work so well. He's so arrogant. He would even come and say that he wants to stay. For that matter, we'll keep him out and put in a square peg in a round hole. That is how this country is dangerously hazardous. Dangerously careless. By just labeling somebody as arrogant, we can go all length to destroy the whole nation because of one supposedly arrogant person. To Dampare, no tears for you. If you truly were going around lobbying, it meant that you didn't believe in your own work. But to God be the glory. I'm glad you are out. I wanted you to stay, but it looks like the chickens are coming home to roost at this point. To Martin Kebu, please reveal more of these. And a lot of people might say things about you like they say about me. But who cares when Ghana is the beneficiary at the end of it all? I salute you this afternoon. Well, my name Blakk Rasta is being the voice of the picture.